The house on Cielo Drive did not look like a place where people were meant to die. It sat high above Los Angeles, hidden behind trees and silence, its walls glowing softly under the California sun, as if nothing ugly could reach it there. The kind of place where the rich hid from the world, where fame went to sleep. But evil does not care about beauty, and it does not announce itself. On a warm night in August 1969, that house would become a slaughterhouse, and America would lose its last illusions about safety, celebrity, and innocence. Sharon Tate was not supposed to die like this. She was Hollywood's quiet miracle, too gentle for the industry that adored her face but never fully knew her soul. While other stars sharpened their edges, Sharon stayed soft, almost fragile. She trusted people. She believed in kindness. She believed life was moving forward. And it was inside her. 8 months pregnant, Sharon walked through her home, touching walls that would soon be painted for a child. She spoke about baby names, about slowing down, about becoming someone other than a movie star. She didn't know that somewhere in the same state, a man who believed himself a god was planning her death without ever knowing her name. Charles Manson was not a genius. He was not powerful. He was not even particularly intelligent. But he understood one thing perfectly. People are desperate to belong. He collected the broken the way others collect antiques. Runaways, addicts, girls with hollow eyes and boys with no futures. He fed them LSD, sleep deprivation, and warped love until they could no longer tell his thoughts from their own. He spoke of a coming war, a race war, that would tear America apart. He called it Helter Skelter. He claimed the Beatles wrote songs for him, that the Bible whispered his name, that death was not murder, it was prophecy. And the terrifying part is not that he believed it. It's that others did too. Manson didn't command his followers. He infected them. They called themselves a family, but there was nothing warm about it. Love became obedience. Loyalty became violence. And murder became spiritual duty. These were not hardened criminals. They were children pretending to be monsters, until the monsters became real. They learned to kill slowly, emotionally, deliberately, not out of rage, not out of necessity, but out of belief. And belief is far more dangerous than hatred. August 8, 1969. The air was thick with heat and silence. Inside the Cielo Drive house, Sharon Tate laughed with friends. They ate. They talked. They lived. There was no fear in that house, because fear had no reason to be there. There were no enemies, no threats, no warnings. And yet, death was already climbing the hill. For figures moved through the darkness like shadows cut from something human. They carried knives and a gun. But more than that, they carried conviction. They did not come for Sharon Tate the actress. They did not come for Sharon Tate the pregnant woman. They came for a location. She was in the wrong place, at the end of someone else's madness. That is what makes this story unbearable. Not that she was hated, but that she was meaningless to them. What happened next stripped Hollywood of its glamour forever. Sharon begged. Not for fame, not for mercy, for her child. She offered her own life if they would spare the baby. But cults do not negotiate, and faith does not hesitate. The house filled with screams, then silence, then blood. By dawn, innocents lay butchered across white walls. Not because of who they were, but because of what someone else believed. The news exploded like a bomb. A beautiful actress, pregnant, murdered. Hollywood locked its gates. People bought guns. Neighbors stopped trusting neighbors. Because the truth was worse than any rumor. There was no motive that made sense. No personal hatred. No robbery. No logic. Just death, chosen randomly. And that meant no one was safe. When Charles Manson was finally captured, he didn't look like a monster. That was the most disturbing part. He looked small, dirty, almost ridiculous. But he smiled in court, sang songs, mocked the dead, turned the trial into a grotesque performance. He had not held the knife, but he had sharpened every hand that did. And in the end, the law understood. He didn't need to kill with his body. He killed with belief. While Manson tried to carve his name into history through fear, another name was quietly rewriting justice. Doris Tate, Sharon's mother. She did not scream. She did not seek revenge. She demanded change. At a time when victims were treated as footnotes, Doris forced courts to listen, to acknowledge that murder does not end with the body. It ripples through families, through generations. Because of her, victims gained voices. And because of that, Manson failed. The house at Cielo Drive no longer stands. It was torn down, as if concrete could erase memory. But the hill still stands. And if you stand there long enough, in the quiet, you might understand something terrifying. Evil does not need a reason. It only needs permission. Manson wanted immortality. He wanted chaos. He wanted his name whispered in fear forever. But history chose a different memory. We remember Sharon Tate, not as a victim, but as innocence interrupted. And innocence has a power that monsters never understand. Because while killers rot in cells and graves, memory lives.